Here, put it on.
Yes.
Buzz.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I guess you can.
Huh?
Go right ahead.
Not, that's where we came out.
Squeeze in where that.
That's when that's when the
Other friends, I'm going to tell you two stories. A lot of you know some of the stories, a lot of you don't. But I'm going to talk about the Quo Vadis first. Okay, that's my first thing. I don't know if you guys know too much about the Quo Vadis, but we all lived in College Heights, you know, and we just were really good friends. You know, there were 7 of us total, and I can't tell you how much fun we had. I mean, these guys, you know, they're bosom buddies, you know, all this stuff we've done together. But how did the Quo Vadis come about? Okay, so I'm going to tell you how it came about. So what happened was, my father was in the Coast Guard, but he actually grew up in the inner city of Hartford, right? And so he was always telling me I wanted to grow my hair long, you know, in the 60s, and he kept telling me, you know, he was just in the Coast Guard, he was strict, you know. So he goes, I'm going to give you a Quo Vadis haircut if you don't shut up, you know, if you don't cut your hair. So evidently it's sort of a really close cropped one. Anyone know what I'm talking about? So he's going to give me that thing. So I told John, you know, my father's got this haircut because John used to shave his head, if you don't know that. Right? Where's Moses? Where's Moses? Right?
Oh, he used to shave my
So anyway, so you know, my father. So I told John. So the one day it was April vacation. We're going fishing, and it was I'll use our regular. It was Don Harrison, you know, Art Johnston, John Riswick, and me, Richard Fritz. We were going. I don't think Lefty was there that day, and so we're walking. And but at the same time, these kids came up and played basketball at the Little Red Schoolhouse. So if you know anything about College Heights, that was our domain, right? Nobody comes and messes with the Little Red Schoolhouse. So I went up there to shoot some baskets. Nobody else was there but me. And so there was these 3 kids. Now we knew them, you know, some of them were younger than us, but they were the Parkers. Chop Parker, Buzz Parker, and Duke Parker. They're pretty famous around New London. Anyone know the Parkers? Anyone know the Parkers? But anyway, so I told John again about these kids, Duke, Chop, and Buzz. So all of a sudden, we're going fishing. And Donnie Harrison and Art Johnson were ahead of us, walking through the woods. So all of a sudden, John yells out, hey, Duke! And that was for Donnie Harrison. So then I immediately, within half a second, said, hey, Chop! Okay, so then so they turned around, Duke in particular says, Buzz. So then we're thinking, well, here's poor John, doesn't have a name, but I must have played pool with John 100 times and I never won. So I'm serious. I tried. There were days where I came close, but you want to go play pool after this?
Sure he does.
Yeah, I might ruin his record. So I said, Shark, you know, so we named him Shark. Then we get home and we're saying, now Lefty's a right-handed person, but he used to goof around on the basketball how good he was a left-handed shot, you know, so we called him Lefty. And then we had one more friend named Hawk, and he comes up, and I don't remember, but I remember I called him Hawk. We were at school, it was like after the vacation, a couple more days. And then later on, our friend Ace was in here. Ace is good at everything. You give Ace a job, he'll ace it, okay? So his nickname is the most perfect one of all this stuff. Just to give a little plug to Kevin. When Kevin was really little, he was probably 3 or 4 years old, I called up Chop on the phone and I says, is Chop there? And Kevin goes, and Chop screaming, who is it, Kevin? Who is it, Kevin? And Kevin goes, I don't know, it's one of those Duke Chop Buzz guys. I don't know if he remembers that. So I said, it's Buzz, you know, Kevin. So, but anyway, so that's how the Quo Vadis started, and that's our little story. And we've been friends ever since, right? And you know, Chop, he was a charter member, you know, and I sat on the porch with him a lot, you know, in the last few years, and we reminisced quite a bit. So he'd be really happy with everybody that's here today. There's only 4 of us left, right? Hawk died in 2019, and Duke in 2006, and Artie or Chop last year, first day of winter, right? We had this thing on the first day of summer. I thought that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Anyway. And now the final thing I'm just going to say is a few words about him. Some of you heard it at the reunion, at the celebration of life. But, you know, and Derek, you know, I know Derek since the day he was born. He's become a good friend, right? And little tough here. But anyway, we sat on the porch a lot, on the deck, drinking Bud Light, right? And I have to drink, non-alcoholic, zero Heineken, right?
But you did, you came.
I did, but I came every week, but we had a good time. But then when he got that sore on his rear end, he went to the hospital, and then he went up to that place in Norwich, Norwich Town,
yes.
and they just couldn't get that wound to heal. It was just awful. And Helen, God bless Helen. She was there every day. I'd come every other day, every 3 days. And Helen was there every single day. And then where's Betty?
She's right there.
Betty came up, and I'll get to that story in just a second. But then he went to the hospital again, and then we got him into Apple rehab, and then his health benefits ran out. So we had to get him home for 60 days. And between Janine and Betty and Helen and myself and Derek and Kevin, we got him through. And I remember counting the calendar every day.
Aww.
Then he got his health benefits back, right? So it was really kind of cool. But then, it was just, they just could not heal that wound. It just wouldn't heal. But the last real interaction I had with him, it's kind of funny. I went over to watch the Giant game with him, right? And so we're watching it, and I said, "How do you feel today?" He says, "I feel like crap." And I said, "Why?" The Giants are losing. So, and I said, "Okay." And so then, but that was, I thought he was going to make recovery, and then 13 days later he passed, and it was really kind of tough. But to finish my speech and to show what a brave guy he was, and how much stronger than most people was, he, according to my recollection, 533 days in bed. 533 days in bed. And we got him up about 6 times at the nursing home, and we got him about 6 times at his house. And the doctor said only a half an hour in the chair. Okay, so the first time we get him up. I gave him a beer. He hadn't had a beer in months. An hour and a half later, he said, "I'm not going back in the bed." Now, if I had known that he was going to pass, I would have said, "No, stay all day." But so the times I came over, I limited him to a half an hour, but turned into an hour and a half. He was drinking Peroni, and he was really happy about that, because Helen got him some special beer Peroni right from Italy, because he went to Italy. But that's all basically I want to say. He was a good guy. I couldn't have done what he did. He's a real trooper to be 533 days in bed. Can any of us do that?
No.
But he was always cheerful, and that's what I liked about him. Okay, John, you're going to say a few words. Shark.
Why didn't I speak first?
Because I'm older than you.
Yeah, you're the youngster.
No, he's in charge. No question about it. He's the man. He's the man. Well, I guess I'm good here.
Yeah.
I can stand aside. Well, let me expand a little bit on my nickname. They opened a pool hall in the little shopping center right down from College Heights.
Golden Crown.
Gold Crown, yeah.
Gold Crown.
So we immediately got all excited about playing pool, and we started to go down there and shoot pool every night. We didn't have any money, so it wasn't a real frequent thing. But I got in trouble with my mother, because every time I came home, she could smell the cigarette smoke. We didn't smoke. None of us were smokers.
Right.
But it just, to this day, I'm sure all of us can smell that smoke on your clothes.
You're right here.
When you've been drinking here,
Here, we'll switch. Here. No, you're fine.
Oh, is that one of the, they're going to put
Yeah.
windmills on?
Yeah. All right, sorry.
But kind of a odd skill to have, but it came in unbelievably handy for me, and actually changed my life in ways I could never imagine. I was in college, senior year. It was spring term, and there was a big weekend coming up, and I didn't have a date. I had just broken up with a gal. I was fine. It's a Thursday night, Wednesday night. I was shooting pool in the fraternity, and a guy just two of us there. Phone rings, guy answers, comes back. Do either of you guys want a date for Green Key weekend? And we both looked at each other and we both said, yeah, I don't have a date. Yeah, no, I don't have a date. And the guy said, well, shoot a game of 8-ball. And whoever wins the game of 8-ball, gets the date.
Oh.
So I win handily. I mean, I was.
He didn't tell you he was playing against me.
No, you weren't the only one I took to school. And in college, they had guys that could play. For sure. Especially the hockey players. Oh my God, those guys! They could play golf, they could shoot pool. They were great card players. Anyhow, I'm getting kind of off the subject. So he says to me, "You have a date with Susan Remmer," and my knees absolutely went weak. Her cousin was
Artie calling.
known throughout campus. He was a year older than me, throughout campus, almost from the day he walked on campus. He held every weight throwing record in the college: shot put, javelin, discus, hammer, everything. And he was huge, 6'8", 300 pounds, 6'8", 300 pounds, and didn't have an ounce of fat on him. I remember being in the training room. I had a sprained ankle and I had to get it taped. And you sit on a bench, you sit up on a bench, and the trainer tapes your ankle. And George was having something done, and he was right next to me. And I looked over at him, and his thigh was as big as my waist. So the guy sees my unease and says, no, she's cute. She's not big like you. So the date's 2 days later, and I think I called her. We'll meet at 3:30 in my room. I said, man, Friday rolls around, I'm kind of bored. I said, maybe I can squeeze in 9 holes of golf before my blind date arrives. I arrive 30 minutes late. She's there right on time. Always right
You
on
waited?
time. 30 minutes late.
Half hours back to where I come from.
Oh, yeah.
It was so she found my roommate and she was waiting in the room. And I get there and I walk into the room, just nonchalant. I'm not thinking too much, with the 30 minutes, And she reads me the riot act. I mean, up and down. And it was probably only 2 or 3 minutes, but it felt like 10 or 15. And I said to myself, if I can make it through the next few hours, this could be a very interesting relationship. We've been married 52 years coming around.
God bless you.
But Buzz, he's the greatest in the Quo Vadis history. I mean, he's got more in his head than all of the Quo Vadis combined, hands down. I don't think there's any doubt. Ask any of these guys. But for long periods of my life and Chop's life, I didn't see very much of him at all until he had his motorcycle accident. I stopped and saw him in the hospital, and then sometime later, I reconnected with Buzz, and I started, whenever I was in the Northeast, I'd go sit on the porch with the two of them. I didn't drink, but a lot of times I'd bring a cigar just so that I could show them I had a vice. And I got to interact with him, and I got to meet Mary. And every time I was there, maybe 90% of the time that I was there, Mary was there. Mary was coming. Sorry, Helen. Helen. Sorry.
That's your mother's name.
Yeah. When I think of wonderful people, I get Helen in my head. The greatest mother ever.
Okay.
So when she was always there, and I talked to Buzz a fair amount on the phone, and what he has done, I've told him this at least 100 times, what he did for Chop, to me, both of them, is beyond comprehension. I mean, I've met people that have had sick parents, and they would go to see them once a month, a couple times a month, and they just thought it was fine and dandy. To have two people dedicated, working full time. I know Mary going off to work a lot of times. That was
Helen?
sorry, Helen. Mary Helen. Mary Helen. Mary Helen going off to work. It was just, and for an incredibly long illness. It just amazed me. So I know there are others, the boys and all. I didn't see too much of them, so I'm not gonna. Everyone, other people might want to talk about their care. Oh, and Art's ex-wife, can't remember her name.
Betty.
When I heard Betty was coming up with Helen.
Helen, yeah, that's right.
It was to me, it was incredible display of friendship and dedication to a friend. I mean, it was unbelievable. So I'm going to end on saying that the caregivers for Art were three people that I'll never forget. And I know I only met you today.
You didn't know her before? You didn't
Never met her. We never met. Did we? A long time ago. No, for a long time ago.
Is there a significance to this spot right here in the water?
This is what he wanted.
This is where he wanted.
I think he fished here.
Yeah, every year around his birthday we would come out. If not on his birthday, we would come out on the Hellcat.
You can see, it's a big
Party boats.
Yeah, you can
He
see
wanted
all
to
the
be
boats.
in
Had
the
Stripers and Blues, go
Yeah.
Eastern Point Liquors, watch him drink and drink.
Yeah, we were always on the
And
porch.
drink.
He's running the boat.
And then we go home and we fire up the grill and cook the fillets on the grill.
Well, he picked a spot, Richie.
This morning, he wanted to be in the deepest spot in the race. It's 300 feet below us. So I picked the coordinates, I gave it to the captain, he put us right here.
Very good.
Yes, it's some sort of canyon right
Well,
here.
you're going down to the Hudson Canyon right here.
So-
This is
where he wanted to be.
This is the only way out of Long Island Sound.
Yep.
Is between here and Fish's Island. So all the water emptying out of Long Island Sound every 12 hours is going out here. Every 6 hours coming in, going out here. And
Oh, this
there's
is where he
usually, when the tide is running, there's a standing wave. Probably, how big is a standing wave, George?
Pretty big.
8 feet?
Maybe 6.
6 feet.
Oh,
It just stays in
we're
one spot.
lucky.
Where
Yeah.
the water
Ugh.
falls over a steep cliff underwater. The water rushing over that cliff bounces off the bottom and creates a wave
He's gonna go back in the water.
in one spot. In one spot, never moves. And then the tide changes and you don't get it on the shallow side. So it's only when the tide's going up.
Well,
All right.
I don't have the gift of gab like these guys do.
Yeah, you say something,
So I'll
please.
keep it. I'll keep it. So, but thanks for the history lesson. I don't remember half of that.
None of us do.
I know. He knows everything. If I told him we had a reunion 6 years. No, it was 8 years ago. It was. Anyways, I'm Lefty. Ed Rothen is my real name, and I've known Art and his family, Arthur and Mary, for years, well before Quo Vadis. We would go in high school, early in high school, we'd go on ski trips up to Montreal. My mother and Mary Johnson were buddies, and Art's father, Art Senior, he was a riot. So we had a lot of interaction in the younger years, and it was good to see him become part of the Quo Vadis. So we got to interact in the later years as well. So it really hurts me I knew how healthy he was, what a great skier he was, what a great athlete he was, a swimmer. And for him to end up, like he unfortunately had to, was just, it hurt me. It hurt me badly. So we pray. Thanks.
Does anybody else want to say anything?
So I will.
Go ahead.
So on behalf of Kevin's kids, Artie's kids, I should say, Artie was a great man. He's rocking the boat as we speak. I'm telling you that right now.
Gonna get wet.
Because if you didn't know, Artie was a big jokester, and he would constantly tell me to turn that light off, and it was a heater that was on the deck. And I would be like, Artie, there's no light there. And he's like, yes, there is. Turn it off. And I will never forget the first time I met Artie. I walked on the deck, and he says, hi. I said, hi. And he goes, do you need any left shoes? What? He goes, and I have extra socks. I was like, I don't need any left shoes, but thanks. And he's like, all right, fine. You want a beer? I was like, no, I don't want a beer either. But since that very moment, Artie had welcomed me right into the family, and I will never forget such a kind guy. I am so thankful for my voicemails that he has called me and left me, whether it be my happy birthday one or my happy first Mother's Day one, or hey, I think I needed to call you, but I needed to check on you. So I will forever hold those voicemails close to me. And every moment in memory that I have with Artie, there's just so many to talk about. But Artie was one of a kind, and he was a great father-in-law, and he was great to everybody he met. So to Artie, he'll truly be missed.
Kevin, when was it in the hospital that I made the comment about his socks? I don't
Yeah, so it was right after the amputation had to happen, and we had to change rooms. He was going to a different room, so we had to gather up everything that had been brought by friends and family to move to the new room. So we walk in, and he's still in recovery. We're just getting the room prepped up. We walk in, bed's all nicely made. He's got a solo room, nobody with him. And over to the left-hand wall is the little dresser. There's a stack of sheets and blankets and a pillow or two, and one sock on top of the pile. This is all fresh. We haven't even seen him yet since the amputation has taken place. And we walk in, and Janine sees that, and she goes, "What? Why is there only one sock?" Oh, like it immediately clicked as soon as the words left her mouth why there was only one sock. You know, and
never
then
stop teasing me.
probably a year, maybe a year or two after everything,
So I got it after you did that.
he had paperwork to refile for his long-term disability. And he's kind of going through with a bunch of us on the deck, and he's like, listen to this shit. And he says, are you able to return to your work duty in full capacity? If no, please explain. And we're all having a good chuckle, and I looked at him, I was like, can you just send him your left shoe? And that should be the explanation enough. But, you know, like Buzz has said, no matter what he went through, he was never down. Smile on his face at all times.
Did either one of you guys talk to Lisa Bianca at the?
Yes.
They were gonna come. She was sick this morning.
No, at the celebration of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, about the psychic.
Yep.
Yes. She texted me this today about. She talked to him again about. She said that Artie said that he was at the celebration of life, and that he's gonna be here today.
He's the one rocking the boat.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But the psychic said that he has,
I know there's a lot of Bud Lights missing.
he's in heaven.
Yes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No, she might. I don't know.
Yeah, he was a little, he had a little bug drink.
Yeah, that's what the psychic said.
Yeah.
And he also, or she also told her that he had a crush on Lisa.
Yeah. We all knew that.
Yeah.
You know, all the years of coaching t-ball for Derek, well before myself, and then starting all over again with me. Fishing trips. At least a Yankee game I can remember going to him with.
When Maddie was a nice little kid.
Yeah,
Where's Maddie?
he's out there. He's out there.
He fallen yet?
Not yet. You know, he was just the happiest guy.
And the most generous. He would give anybody anything they needed.
You ready to do the honors?
So,
So Kevin and Derek are gonna spread his ashes, and maybe we could have a moment of silence for Artie.
You guys will come over here.
Good luck, Derek.
Where's he? He's coming right here.
We're gonna go right off the back, I guess. Where's the wind? Which way's the wind blowing?
Oh, that way. I had to think. All right, wait, put my hair blowing.
out of the way, Matt.
He's gonna come over here.
No, we're gonna go over there.
Oh,
It's blowing that way.
it's blowing now.
Oh, it's blowing that way.
Yeah, 'cause you might want to go here or here.
Matt, sit the guys down.
Matt, sit down. Shut up.
I don't know why you got up in the first place.
You can stand down.
There's a foot there.
Sorry, Buzz.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it's Colin. That's fine.
Yep.
Oh, be careful, guys.
He's only
Yeah, go ahead.
It really tastes like bacon. But get out of here.
You get drunk.
So if we could just have a moment of silence, please. Well, we put him where he wanted to be, right? So
And the
thanks
police
for
are going to come out.
everyone coming here. We really appreciate it. Perfect day. Perfect day.